What's up, everybody? I'm gonna give people about 5 minutes to start. So if you're watching this, you can just fast forward it later for 9:30. But I'm gonna give people about 5 minutes to start before I start. What's up, everyone? Fonzie, Cold. What's up, guys? What's up, everyone? Good morning. Ricardo. What's up, guys? Kind of got this laid out already. So I'm gonna go over this week's bangers. I am gonna talk about key level entries for scalps and other possible holds for new high days. When I start adding into my plays and I'm not playing breakouts. But Tuesday I'm going to go over APVO, GRCL for Wednesday. We're going to go over BFRI, OCUP, LGVN. Thursday was off day. Friday I'm going to go over AHPI, BFRI. Hold on a second. Yeah, I can hear you. Cool. Guys, I got Bofo in here too. He's going to help me out with questions since I'll be kind of going over everything. And usually I miss a bunch of questions. So he's going to look for the important ones, and I can hear him in voice if you guys can't hear him. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And I know for most of you guys that your weekend is still happening right now, Sunday morning. Let's go over and pull this up first. Got the coffee egg sandwich. Time to learn. Let's go. Good morning. All right, Purple, I got you. Thank you. Deb's in the building. Let's go. What's up, Deb? Good morning. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start. So, Tuesday, played two tickers, APVO and GRCL, right? Pre-market, again, we had a nice banger. This thing had news. This is a nice 1 minute flag. Missed this one. It was under the radar. This is a nice flat top flag. Missed it. That's fine. Kind of got interested when more volume came in. Nice low volume pullback, and this thing started to break out. The best thing about this one is that this one was breaking levels. If you can see right here, this 1160 was a level on the daily. Nice low volume pullback after this push up. Same thing going on with this 5-minute flag right here. Yes, this is extended, but this is a flag that basically during the time tapped the 8, or I mean, excuse me, VWAP at the time. It wasn't, the 8's still super low down here. So this is another great setup right here. These are two nice setups that we played, looking for half whole dollar breaks. Again, that's what I go over, and that's how I play momentum as I'm trading them. Later in the day, though, this thing's set up again really nice. And there's a few things that I want to go over with this one as this thing was setting up. Well, let me zoom out. Okay. Here goes a nice setup that we had right above VWAP. Here goes a nice, this is another flag that we played right here. This broke VWAP, but this time it didn't get rejected or flushed, so that's really normally a good sign. Bouncing right off this level right here, 920s, or 990s, sorry. I want to go over something too that happened right here. I actually played a couple of these flags, because if you see this right here, this is set up multiple flags over and over and over again. Look at the VPA right here. Stair step down, pops up, stair step down. The best part about this flag right here was that this one actually bounced off this daily level if you look left right here. Beautiful setup. There's been multiple times I'm going to go over today where we had flag setups, either at high day, daily levels, and so on. The best thing about these is that it's the VPA behind it all. We're looking for nice flag breakouts, nice volume, igniting candles, and then lower volume pullbacks. And this is also a mix of buyers and sellers, so that's really good. Nonetheless, this thing broke out, held the 1160s daily level, and then made new highs. This was one of the plays I actually got stuck in. I didn't get stuck in. I almost got stuck in this one. This was a 5-minute flag. See how this how it got super extended? I was looking for the first 5-minute 8 EMA pullback, and I got filled on the bid. I had bids. This is were ones where I'd rather get filled on the bid and look for a bounce play, and I'll show you a whole bunch that worked. This is the one that really failed. I know, you know, some people may have lost on this one, but the thing with this one is that it halted down on such light volume. So I kept this one on the back burner because someone asked me, hey, would we play this again? And I told them I would play it again as long as it holds or shows me some volume opportunity. And then if you kind of could see this right here, see how this volume starts to die down and then starts to pick up? Well, this was the next setup that got me interested. This is your other 5-minute flag right here out on the back side. And this is what it looks like right here on the one. This was a perfect 5-minute 8 EMA tap too. This thing popped up on big volume, and then it started to pull back on lighter volume. And this is a breakout right here. This is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That was on AVPO. So I didn't get the full amount on this. You know, I'm taking profits when I'm looking left right here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right. So Buffalo just asked me, he wanted me to talk about how do I know this is not backside or this is the full backside. So originally, this thing, if you look on the one right, this thing it started to make a move. It pulled back. It kind of consolidated, broke back above, and it flushed, but it didn't flush on heavy volume. There wasn't that, you know, oh shit, I need to get out of this, or that top side volume where the move is pretty much over. You know, the best thing about this is if you're looking at the 5, you see how this volume this is such late volume compared to the push up, right? Once the volume started to ramp back up again and didn't get stuffed and pulled back on later volume, like, you know, I don't know all the time, but 9 times out of 10 I know this thing has more juice in it. You know, if you look over here, this is when it starts to look like, you know, the backside where it tries to fail right here. So pulls back, pops up, fails at this level right here at 22s. Pretty much, you know, a flat top area or a double top right here. And then it starts to fail. Once you kind of start seeing things sell off, this is like the backside right here. But this, I wouldn't consider this being the backside just because there was no blow off the top. Estes would say, like a blow off top move for right here. This was pretty much the move on APVO, a couple flag setups. We had pre-market and then open market setups. I want to go over GRCL. This is one that Herb was on. Herb called a banger, got in on this, and then everyone got on this one. Here goes the setup, what it looks like on the 5. Let me pull up the 1 now. Okay, so I got in on the higher low right here. Basically on the 1 minute, if you see this, let me take this off real quick. If you kind of can see this right here, this is where entries were, right here. And the reason why that happened was because it created a higher low. I got in, and I scalped this first move. I will not lie to anybody. It's because the push up was it was a lighter volume in my opinion. And then it kind of got stuffed right here. But what really got me was this right here. If you look at this candle right here, this is a nice 1 minute flag. If you see this volume right here, see how it's like 50, 50, 50, it kind of sells off at 130. It did have some buyers in there, but look at this 1 minute candle. It had 100K on it compared to these candles, 50K, 50K. Just all in all, just light volume. If you kind of see this right here, this has heavy volume right here, and then it sells off. So this is why when I got in early, I took profits because I saw this right here. Now moving forward, this what got me excited on this play is when this happened, I waited, saw nice volume come in, and I bought the first pullback, and of course it pulled back more. But if you look right here, this setup right here is what you see on this 5 minute candle. The first 5 minute candle pulls back, taps the 8, and pretty much view up at the time, or would have been, and then takes off and then halted. This is an amazing setup right here to me. This right here, this name was also thin, so when you got a lot of, not a lot of eyes on it, this is a type of move that can go south really quick. So I took profits right away on this first move once it popped up. This move right here I held, and a lot of us got stuck in this halt, which was nice. Again, playing this too, holding for it to, for the big move, we're looking for half and whole dollar breaks. Okay, this was nice too right here, guys. If you see this unhalted, pulled back and bounced off the high day right here. That was a good sign to hold for longer profits. Let me see, that was pretty much it for Tuesday, right? Wednesday. Okay, here goes Wednesday, the 24th. Love me some 5 minute flags. Okay, here goes Wednesday. BFRI. Nice, beautiful 5 minute flag right here that bounced up, broke VWAP. Guys, pre-market, am I holding the weight of the VPA, volume weight average? Not really. I hold the 5 minute 8 more than I will VWAP because it's so fresh. I don't think this gets respected right away, in my opinion, just because I've seen it so many times pre-market where, you get this big, this thing starts to break up. VWAP starts to follow it, but, what I'm looking for is for the 8 to hold. So this pops up, starts to, pull back in lighter volume. I kind of missed this right here, right? But I added right away, knowing that this can probably break out because this is the first 5 minute pullback. Everybody's trying to get in on the first 5 minute pullback right here. All right, this is the first one, and now we have a second 5 minute flag right here. All right, I'm just trying to see if this is going to cross so you guys can see on the one what it looks like on one. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. So this right here I missed, but this is the entry right here. Once it breaks through out, this is your first 1 minute flag. Okay. Second one was right here. This was perfect. Nice pullback, 5-minute entry. I'm pretty sure, I know a lot of people, I think Bofo was on this one too. You know, I know a lot of people are in chat. If you guys are not in chat, we're in chat every day in Discord, and the real ones going over plays live. So this is the second 5-minute flag. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Pretty much, this is another flag too. It's in a sense, it's kind of holding the whole dollar, right? You know, it's pulling back. It didn't tap 4, but you can always, if you were, for new people too, if you're taking a trade like this and you get out on this, you know, your stop loss, you know, for me, my stop loss are 10, 20 cents, you know, or I'll just exit and re-enter, but you can kind of go off the whole dollar if you got in a VWAP and it starts to pull back. And we're looking for, you know, for this to break out right here. This is the previous highs, okay? And this would be the first 5-minute candle. I know you guys hear me talk about this, right? As you take this, you're taking a dip on this, but we're adding into strength on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which is 437 or 438, which is pretty much right here. This is what you want to see. And I know a lot of you guys ask me, do I add, you know, at this level right here? Let me zoom in. You know, I don't add at 438. You know, I add in before that. So if I was going to play this and add into the strength of this, I'm literally buying before 438 happens. Because I want everyone else to like let it squeeze, you know. I'm not playing breakouts. I'm buying dips, and then I'm adding in before key levels that I keep watching for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and then I'm holding on for this to break out. I'm scaling some. I always do that. It's just one of the things that I got into, you know, scale half, hold the other half for a bigger move. And what's nice about this is this coming into the whole dollar, right? And once that breaks, you usually get a nice pop. If you look right here, this is where the whole dollar was. It pops above it, pulls back, first dip gets bought, and then it pops again. This one was another beautiful 5-minute flag right here. If you just see the volume behind this move, right, and then the volume that kind of pulled back on, it's such light volume, and you got to remember, you got people buying this up too. So this is a lighter volume pullback, but also it's got a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying. You'd have to just look right here at the one and kind of see what's going on, right? You want to see the battle that it's happening. The best part about this one, this flag right here bounces off the whole dollar and this 5-minute candle previous high. You know, still a beautiful flag, and then it breaks off for more. All right. Let me see. No, I didn't play this. Let me see. Okay, 1-minute flags. Perfect. I take notes because. Okay, so I didn't play. Hey, what's up, Buffo? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so someone's asked me during real time if you kind of see this candle over here. This popped up. I did not enter on this. You know, this is still this was super extended. So in this case right here, when you see stuff like this is like premature. It's just too early. You know, this thing has a lot of upper wicks too right here. A lot of rejection, a lot of rejection. You know, I want to wait. And the reason why I wait is because once this finally pulls back, you're going to get a set of new buyers. You're not really having a lot of buyers in my opinion right here, or if you do try, you get rejection. You know, people, you know, possibly trying to short this stuff right here. So this, in my opinion, when you see something gets like starts to get super extended, it needs more time to cool down, you know. Now, you could take an entry right here and you could try to add into the first 5-minute candle. If you do that, and I've done that too, I just seen over time that things need more time to cool down, is that once you do that, in my opinion, you need to like stop out right away. You know, because if this does get rejected, it can pull back more. And me personally, I don't take sides and let things turn, you know, red against me, or just I'm not writing this and looking at my P&L and seeing it just be red, 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 and hoping it bounces back up. You know, I'd rather take entries at key levels, VWAP, 5-minute 8 EMA, in my opinion, just because that's what I do. all the time, then trying to, you can't add this. This is a higher low, 5 minute setup. This is flagging still, but I just felt more comfortable trading this right here and then adding into the strength on the 5 minute for this setup. So hopefully that kind of answers that question of right here. So you can try this because this could have broke out. Um, I just I don't know. I don't like playing this. Like I rather wait because I just see these things happen, over and over and over again where things start to get extended, things start to get rejected. So you want a new set of buyers to come in, so you get that new momentum coming in. All right, that's that one. I want to go over this too. So this was again on the back burner all day. I want you guys to notice like something right here, right? And this is something I'm gonna, oh, right here. So I kept this on the back burner, right? Because we played this, I wasn't gonna play any of this chop because to me this just looks like it's starting to sell off. It's getting rejected. Another 5 minute tweezer topper here, rejected. But all of a sudden, if you look at the overall volume, right? Like this is just rejection, big sell off. The only reason why it's green right here is because the candle closed above the opening price. Once we kind of started seeing this right here, right, and this didn't get rejected, once it popped over VWAP, didn't actually flush this time, this is your first 1 minute flag right here. And if you kind of look at the VPA, this is all I preach VPA. Like, hey, I'm adding this 1 minute flag. The VPA is perfect, pops up, stair step down, and it starts to break out. It has trouble over here, gets rejected a little bit, but as soon as a new 1 minute candle opens, it just starts to fly and take off. So after all this, funky stuff right here that's going on, this is the setup that I waited for to get back in and also use my profits that I had pre-market. So there's a nice 1 minute flag and it breaks out for new highs. Oh, sorry. Okay. And if you guys look right here on the 5 minute, once this starts to look at the volume right here, right? Look at the VPA down. Such light volume. This is your first 5 minute 8 EMA pullback. And it has trouble breaking out. If you can kind of see this right here and kind of see it on the one, this is what's going on right here. And it actually finally breaks out. And look where this flag is setting up. Right above orb. Right? If you zoom out, I'm trying to get it perfect for you guys. If you guys zoom out of this, if you see this is where orb is, right? This is the first high that it put in for the day, 635s. This flag finally broke above it. Nice volume. And then it pulls back on lighter volume and makes new highs. Two beautiful setups. You got the 1 minute and then you got the bigger flag, the bull flag, 5 minute flag. And then we played, okay, OCUP. Yeah. Yeah. For this one right here? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. So Bofo asked me if how would you manage how did I manage this, right? Because this right here is the first pullback that it gave right here. Pops up, pulls back, candle closes, and then it rips. So this is actually right here the first flag that broke out because it bounced off orb, And if any of you guys don't know, these are good scalp plays in general. Granted, this was great because it actually set up a nice 5 minute flag above orb. But right here, when you first take this right here, and if it doesn't break out right here, guys, it's okay to scale. I don't want to see any of you guys like take trades and take a trade at 640s, and then it pop up you're up 40 cents, and then it starts to pull back, and you not want to take some profits, right? Now you guys can hold and look for a bigger move. That's fine, But if you look at this overall picture, it needed more time to cool down, and that's fine. Now this could have broke out, which would have been great because we already had a great entry. There's no reason why you should take profits from your first entry. Look at the bigger picture because in 1 minute will chop you up. That's why I love trading off the 5. I get my entries off the 5, and then I look at the 1 to either add more or start to take profits. And this is one example of where we took profits early and then just re-entered on a bigger 5-minute pullback. I will never get into a trade like same thing with GRCL earlier. I understand the name was thin, but I'm personally not going to enter a trade, be up 40, 50, 60 cents, a dollar, and not take profits. And just, I'm here, I'm not going to, watch my P&L be super green and then watch it go to 0 and then be super red. So again, there's no real reason why you enter a trade, right, off the first 5-minute candle, bounces off orb. We expect this thing to break out, right? We want this thing to break out. That's, we want to see this thing explode so we can make some money. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. Just exit the trade and then re-enter it again on a different setup that kind of makes sense. And this is what we got right here. Does that kind of help, Buffo? Okay. No, I definitely hear that. Yeah, it'll just be so easier to stop out, stop out or take some profits and then re-enter on a different pullback or on a different setup. That's kind of all very similar, right? Because the ones that really get extended, it just has so much more room to pull back. That's just my opinion. That's just what I've seen over the time of trading the 5-minute over and over and over again. Let me go over OCUP too, because we know this one pre-market. $8.24. Perfect. I know you traded with this one too, so didn't trade any of this, guys, because it was super early. The 7 a.m. bell opens though, and look what we got right here. Your first 1-minute flag. This one didn't break out the way you wanted to, but all in all, it was still almost like a 50-cent scalp from the whole thing. Entries were right under here, and then scalping this flag. Yeah, there's a bigger move in there, which is fine. This thing started to break out. This is another sideways flag. So when you guys see this right here, this nice pop, this is kind of holding, and look where it's holding again. I want you guys to notice this. So when you guys are seeing, setups that happen, look at this previous level. It pops above it, doesn't get rejected, but now it consolidates above it. So you got this nice pull, low volume consolidation, and then it breaks out for even more. And then we're looking for this target right here to break. This is where we want it to break right here. Pre-market highs. It does that, and then it gets rejected. Tries it again. And if you kind of see this move right here, what are we going back to, guys? The first 5-minute pullback, right? This is a nice 5-minute flag. Now, if you look at this, well, I know you guys, I'm always talking about the VPA. Again, when this candle opened, it ripped for new highs. So you got a lot of volume coming in right here in the 1, right? Again right here, and again right here. This is dips getting bought up right here. And then you got the sell-off, which was right here. So, yeah, this was red. But other than that, once it started to pull back, it started to stair step down. But every 5-minute candle right here had bottom wick. So this is buyer stepping up to hold this price up. And then finally, this is another example of why I wait. You could have bought this right here. I mean, you would have made, a few, 20 cents, which is not bad, right? But if you wait for it to actually give it time to cool down, and you look for a 5-minute 8 or even VWAP tap, it's going to be even better in my opinion. You're going to get a fresh new set of buyers. People who missed this whole move are now waiting patiently for a good entry. and we nailed this 5-minute flag, which was great because it gave us almost like $1. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I think I said that, Bofo. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, so someone's at, okay, that's fine. Again, so if you guys look at this right here, see this shooting star? Just remember, you gotta always look. This is the 5-minute candle, but you want to see how it's made. See how my cursor is going over this? So you want to see how this is made, right? So just because this is red doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. This 5-minute candle opened and it ripped with increasing volume. See on my cursor right here? See this candle opens? This is the new 5-minute, 7:30. This is all buying power, buying power. So you got 600,000 of, 600K worth of volume. This first dip, pulls back, which is nice because it's a breakout. First dip's going to get bought up. People who miss this are going to try to attempt to play the Momo. So these candles right here, this is a lot of buying power right here. This is your first big sell-off right here, which is 350K. So really, between the bears and the bulls on this one, there's definitely more buying power than selling power. The only thing, this closed red again because it closed, this whole candle, the volume's red on this, the candle's red is because it closed above the opening price. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So you want to look at the battle that it had in between the 5-minute candle. And I do the same thing too with these green candles. If you look at this previous green candle, right? Nice igniting, you want to look at the one right here, right? And this is what you see. See I'm moving back and forth? You want to see that it had some buying, some selling, some buying, some selling, but then, the bulls won, you know. So just because, again, you see something like, hey, what do you mean looks bad? Look at the bigger picture, guys. Look to see what happened inside this 5-minute candle. Now, if this popped up on light volume, right, and then all this was like selling, 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 then I would like, okay, maybe is this the top? Is this going to start being the backside of the move? That's when I start to question, if you look at this one right here, look how this one popped up. There goes a perfect example of someone who just asked that question. Look at this, and now look at this. Look how this opened up right here, right? You got the 750 candle. There's really not that much buying going on. There's buying going on prior to this. This all set up right here, pulls back, bounces. But look at this right here. There wasn't really that much buying going into the new 5-minute candle. And then once this broke out, it got stuffed on heavier volume. And after it got stuffed, because if you look right here, this is where that previous high was. So it broke it by a couple cents. And then look what happened behind it. So you pretty much got two shooting stars, but how they were setting up were completely different. That's just something I want you guys to take away, because you got to really understand the candles and how they are made to actually see the bigger picture and the bigger pattern. After this, I would not touch this for a while. I'm pretty sure that was it for the rest of the day. This thing just pretty much died off. Yeah, we did not play this after all. After this was like the backside of the move for the rest of the day. The reject, or the first candle actually making a high off a couple cents and not actually breaking out and going for more. LGVN. Actually, guys, I had like a really good day. This was a really good day on Wednesday. LGVN was amazing. This is the one all of us played, or not all of us, I know. Bob got on in this one too. This one was amazing. Let me make sure I have the right day, the 24th. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I missed all this. Perfectly fine, missed all this. This is where my first entry was, LGVN. I had this circled from the day before. This is your first 1-minute flag right here. And if you look at this right here on the 5, you actually have to time this one a little bit better because the price range it's in, right? If you look at the 5, this is a nice 1-minute flag. But 9 times out of 10, if the stock is moving not at a fast pace, the 1-minute 20 EMA is going to be your 5-minute 8, right? So entries, instead of being, a flag on this one, which would have been the 8, nice pop, you want to see it hold. But this pretty much opened up right here, bounced off the 8, which was right here, this candle right here, and then starts to rip. Now, I took profits on this one, guys, right away. You're playing a flag like this, it's trading in this price range. We just made $2 per share. That's a great trade for me. And then it started to sell off right after that. Didn't play pretty much any of this stuff at all. Missed all this. But what I did was I took a stab at the first 5-minute 8 EMA pullback, which was right here. And I was looking for a bounce scalp. This is one of the situations where I'm not looking for anything crazy, because look at these upper wicks. It's telling me right here it's going to sell out, or it's got a lot of it's acting heavy up here, right? We got all these upper wicks. It's not really breaking out. I did have an order on the bid. I got filled. I'm watching the one. If this pops up, I start to see some funny business. I take my profits. Again, this is another $2 scalp. I'm still happy with this play right here. Now this is where the banger was. And I want you guys to notice this, because you see how we take our entries off the 5-minute flags, the previous 5-minute candle sometimes, or a 1-minute flag setting up above high of day. This was one that pulled back to a pre-market level, and I got filled on the bid. And when I got filled on the bid, this thing just started to reverse. I know there's a few other people on this play too, and once this thing started to reverse, I'll be honest with you guys, I got $5 per share, and I took my profits, and then I missed the bigger move. So this is something I need to work on, is getting in early and just riding it out until I see some craziness. Now, I know it was late for me because I'm in Japan, so this thing halted and went up higher. But, I mean, this was a perfect bounce play right here from a previous pre-market high. So this thing pulled back. There was nothing else really giving it a nice bounce. It bounced off this level and then ripped right here. So that was beautiful, right? And then I even called out, this is the first 1-minute flag right here. If you missed entries right here, you could have added and replayed it. That's definitely good. Definitely good play right here. Something I'm going to go over to on another play is I scalp flags all day, right? 5-minute flags, I go heavy. 1-minute flags, I kind of reduce my size depending on what it is. If it's the first 1-minute flag, I play it heavy, like those pre-market 1-minute flags we have. On these, this was just, I took 1,000 shares, wrote it for 5 points, and took my money off the table. Again, back to what I was saying too. I like taking dip entries, or even I put orders on the bid on good areas of previous highs or pre-market highs or hive days, right? Let me see, yeah, AHPI. This was Friday. Friday we had a really good day Friday. Okay, I got lines everywhere. Let me see if I can just erase this real quick. So this is all from Friday. Let's probably keep it, but there goes the one play. All right. I don't know if any of you guys played this with us on Friday, but this thing was getting good price action in the morning. I know everyone was like, "Hey, this is something to play," and I was getting FOMO because it was just setting up. Look at all these flags right here, nice flags. Here goes a nice 5-minute flag too. Couldn't play it because my broker doesn't open up until 7. But if you guys were in this, this is a good flag, 5-minute flag breakout right here. This is one of the ones that kind of needs time. Again, if you see it, it gets really extended off the 8, and during lifetime too, this probably would have looked even more extended. And this would have been one of the ones that if you guys were in there, I would have took some entries around the 8, and then I would have averaged up around here the first 1-minute candle or 5-minute candle making a new high. Let's go back to, okay. This is where it opens. I didn't play like pretty much any of this other than this setup right here. I know I was like, hey, this is the one where I was like, this one's flagging. Um, this is our first 1 minute flag right out of the open bell, right? 7 o'clock open. This is your nice 1 minute volume stick, lower volume pullback. Sorry. And if you look at this candle, this pulled back, so it tapped the 8 on the 1, which is what I want to see. Lighter volume pullback, and then it started to break out right here. Honestly, on this one, guys, I was looking for 10 for the break of 10, and that's exactly what happened right here. There's times where if you see setups like this, guys, this is your first 1 minute flag. We're not taking profits right here. It's just, well, that's 10 cents. In this case, we're looking for this break right here, which would be new highs, right? 922s. So once you kind of see this start to reverse, which is right here, igniting candle, lower volume pullback, this other one opened. Once this pulled back, I was like, this is flagging. I took an entry. And I didn't sell yet. I wanted to see the whole dollar break, and we did. We got that right here. All right, that was this play right here for AHPI. Other than that, we didn't play this until later on the day. Now, let me see. Yeah, this was nice. Yeah. Right here. Mm, this one right here. Oh, right here. Yeah, right here. Okay. Mm, okay, so Bofo was telling me like there's this flat top breakout right here. See this rejection, and then it finally breaks it. He was asking me how do I know this is not going to pull back all the way. In this case, if this would have pulled back all the way, if this would have pulled back right here, that would have been fine. I would have honestly, if this flag would have set up even longer, that would have been fine, because then it would have been bouncing off this level. In real time when you're playing this, guys, you're not going to know what's going to happen, right? Can't predict what's going to happen, but in this case right here, this is the first candle that actually had some volume, had some stick up, you know, started to pull back, and once it started to pull back right here, I was like, this is a flag. If this would have pulled back more and bounced off here, that would have been great. This is also something that's setting up on the whole dollar hold right here. So it pretty much, held 909. It could have pulled back all the way to nines. You know, okay. So Bofo was asking me if this would have pulled back more, would I have cut it, or if I would have averaged up or averaged down and held it. For me personally, I would have cut it and then I would have re-added. I'd rather take an entry. You know, had like 918s. Or 912s or whatever it was, 915s. I forgot. Um, I would have just cut it, guys. I'd rather take a 5 cent loss, add it, because I do not like adding. I don't like sizing up or averaging down, because when you average down, you have to buy more shares. You're buying more shares. You're buying more shares. And then if it fails, you just took a huge loss. I'd rather take a paper cut and then re-add into the strength for this. Because if I'm adding right here, and then I'm adding right here and adding right here, and then it fails, I could get faked out right here just because of that, and then it starts to rip. I don't know if you guys been in situations like that where you cut your loss, and then all of a sudden it reversed, and you're beating yourself up. So this is a way I avoid beating myself up. Is this could have been a 1 minute flag right here, right? Say you would have took this entry, and you bought the first 1 minute pullback, it popped up and it failed. If you cut it really quick, you're avoiding this. So this is what I try to avoid on any of my plays that I'm in. Is that I avoid it all. I see someone saying, so my green line, guys, I just want to point this out. This is my 8 EMA. and this is my 20 EMA. All right, and then I have VWAP right here is purple, and then orb, opening range breakout is the green lines, and this is high day and this is low a day, and it's set for 30 minutes. All right. For me, right? Why do I do this, Bofo, or everyone else is because like I'm trading with size now, so I don't want to take 3,000 shares and then now I need to average down or get a better entry and take another 3,000 shares, have 6,000 shares, and then it cracks on me, and then I just took a huge loss with 6,000 shares. If you're over the PDT, it's so much easier as a scalp momentum trader, just to exit and then re-enter, exit and re-enter. Now you don't want to do that over and over and over again because you get chopped up. But if it's on a play that you would normally take, it's okay to stop out real quick and then get back in on strength. Let me see. Okay, here goes a play that we played right here. This is your 5-minute flag right here, guys. Look at this pullback right here. This thing breaks out. We go to the 1-2 because I like having it crossed. Okay, here goes a nice 5-minute flag, right? This breaks above VWAP. Yes, it kind of gets rejected right here, but this is your, after this huge move, because I look at the whole overall move, this is like your first pullback. And I want you guys to understand something, right? And I do this with the 1 minute as well. When you see this pop up, this is your whole pullback move right here. As soon as this pops up, it starts to get rejected pretty hard. If you see this right here, it's really not that much volume, like 588K. When we were normally seeing like, things with over a mil. It's really not that big. But if you see this, this is your whole pullback from this whole move. This is a 50% pullback. This is awesome, in my opinion. And during real time, this really bounced off the 5-minute 8. Everything's catching up right here. And how do we catch this type of move? When something like this happens, I put orders on the bid and I stack them, right? I just stack them. I kind of get an idea of where the price is at based off the 5-minute 8, and then I'll, put, whatever it is, say it's 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, or 500, 500, 500, and then I'll get filled. The ones I don't get filled on, if I want to take more size, I quickly buy the ask or slap, hit the buy market, depending on what size or how the play is going, okay? But this is your first 5-minute flag. This is your first real pullback after this happened, all right? This is what got me right here, was the volume behind this, because after this got rejected, it just didn't die out. You didn't see that continuation of it selling off. You saw the volume start to get lighter and lighter. And if you kind of see this right here, this is a lot of this right here is buyer stepping up to it right here. This is where the new candle closes, right? This is 950, 955. This is a new 5-minute candle right here. So this is a lot of buying power in this 5-minute candle right here. All right, remember, always look at what's going on and look at the bigger picture. If you would have saw this right here and this was not a lot of buying power or buyer stepping up, then I would have took the weight of this a little bit different. But this is your first 5-minute flag, and it broke out beautifully for everyone, for us, for me, for everyone. I don't really play any of this, choppy stuff right here. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't really play too much. Oh, 1-minute flag. Where is it? I played this 1-minute flag right here. I had it highlighted earlier. Look at the VPA on this one, guys. Again, this name was kind of acting whippy, as you can see it. You kind of got some big 1-minute kill candles. But right here, again, this is bouncing off orb. So this is a flag setting up at high day. So this is one that I was very interested in because it had a big stick of volume. The volume started to get, stair step down. I always love this setup, the stair step down. And it actually breaks out. It doesn't make new highs, which is fine. But it did break out new highs for this overall setup right here. It didn't break out new highs, over here. But as we're playing this intraday, as the day's going on, we're looking for these levels to break. All right, and once these levels break, then we're looking for pre-market highs. Now, we didn't get that right here. All right, you kind of see this 1 minute tweezer top, and you pretty much get a double top. So it's getting rejected pretty hard right here, even after a nice volume stick up right here. You know, if you see this right here, it just the follow through. This is a 1 minute flag. There's no follow through, which is fine. All right, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Which one? This one right here? Oh, this one right here. I know this. Okay, so hmm, I don't remember. Okay, I know I didn't play this one, but okay, okay. Mm, I know. So Bofo was asking me how come, this. Look at the VP on this one that failed. Honestly, I didn't play this one. Um, this is just one of those flags that failed. You know, the only thing that I can see right here why this didn't work from looking like hindsight is the only this 931 rejection right here. So you got a double top right here. So it failed right here. Once that failed right here, it did have good VPA, but it just failed. So guys, it's always not going to work out. So you have this flag right here and this flag right here. Um, the reason why, in my opinion, why this flag holds more weight than this flag up here is because this failed VWAP, and after VWAP at this time, especially this time during the day, actually has some weight. You can kind of see right here how this flushed, popped over, kind of had a hard time again, but now it popped over, it bounced off VWAP, and now it set up a 1 minute flag. This is the only way or the reason why I think this held more significance value than this one. Now this one could have worked. It did bounce off orb again. It just failed. I didn't trade this one. There's multiple flags right here, guys. But after to me, when I see something like this that's starting to act like very upper wiki, and then when I see something that didn't get really rejected, then I'm a little bit more interested in it. That was that one. Again, so this could have happened right here, guys. This setup right here could have happened right here. You know, and and that's okay. If this would have failed, it would have failed. I'd rather play these. I'd rather play this one or this one over and over and over again. And I think the success rate for like flag setting up in certain areas is a lot higher than just playing anything else. And this, if you were playing this one and you bought this and it started to fail, you can stop out right away. The flag is no longer a flag and it starts to break down. It gives you a bear flag right after. But yeah, if anybody took this right here because of the VPA, if it didn't work, I think it was still a good setup. It just failed. That's that one. BF, alright. You're welcome. Okay, this one was another banger for Friday. Alright. Now, I had these. This is perfect because I want to keep it like this. BFRI, if you guys are playing this, we caught, let me see. This is your first 5 minute flag in the morning. It pops up, it pulls back, and this, again, VWAP in the 8 were not like this. Looks perfect, but they're down below right here. And this is one of the flags that set up above the $0.50 right here, 550. Put 550 right here, so it's like perfect. I can't get it. Okay, whatever. That's this one. All right. So this is a 5 minute flag that popped up, and it's consolidating or forming above the $0.50. It doesn't get better than that for me. In my opinion, when we're looking for setups, why to take an entry, where to take an entry, and this thing freaking broke out, which was amazing. All right. After that, did not play this until later on during the day. Kind of missed all this stuff right here. All right, and you know, this is one spot right here specifically that I remember being in chat and saying I saw this candle. It like did this thing where it popped up really quick, and then it had a huge upper wick and then kind of popped. So to me, I thought shorts were exiting or covering and getting out of this play. So I waited for the first 1 minute pullback, loaded the boat, and played this for new highs. All right. Once this kind of started to happen right here, I took profits right away. Again, I'm taking profits. If you kind of look left, I already have these lines drawn out from Friday. This is your first double top area, or an area where it kind of got stuffed. Now, what happens is that look where it sets up a 5-minute flag. Look at the VPA, how it stair steps down, and then it bounces off a previous level where it had a hard time breaking out of. You kind of see this right here, this consolidation area. This is what you want to see, in my opinion. Like if things are going to break out, where do you add next? Right? I look for previous levels of support. Now, when you're playing these things on the 1 minute or 5 minute, and I'm going to go over this too because what you're going to see is these levels will last, and sometimes they only last for a little bit. So if this was acting as good support right here, sometimes you're only going to get these entries and they're going to be gone right after that. This could have broke down, this could have bounced, could have got a bounce scalp out of it, just depending on what it was. But this is a nice 5-minute flag. It came back, tapped to 8, and then it finally broke out of this previous area. Now, if you see this on the 1, where this finally broke out, we finally got the volume that it needed to actually make that move. And here goes another perfect setup right here. Here goes 2 flags in 1. Guys, you guys could have played this off the 5-minute, right here. And then you could have waited. If you missed this right here, this breakout, you could have bought this first breakout, which pretty much almost consolidated around here. I remember had to order on the bid for 833, and got filled instantly, because if you look left, this was the previous high, right? So this is one of the things I want to go over is when adding into plays on the bids and like looking for scalps, right? This was an easy one. This is a key level. Why not try to add into an area like this, especially if it pops up? And look at the VPA. Like as soon as this thing pops up right here, it's pulling back. Look at the VPA on this one. It's stair stepping down. It's not flushing out. And then it sets up another nice 1-minute flag right here. And this one actually bounced off this level again. So you could have scalped this one, right? For whatever, 20, 30 cents. You could have re-added on this one and looked for the bigger move. Now, once this was setting up, we're looking for, when I see things get underneath the whole dollar or half dollar, I want to see them break again and not get stuffed. So this is a nice example where it kind of breaks above the whole dollar, does not get stuffed again, and then continues to make new highs. And once you're in this setup, I'm looking for that $9 break. And I remember taking a lot of my profits above $9 and not even getting this whole move right here. It is what it is. I kept loading the boat on this one with my small account, so I just kept buying a lot of shares, scalping it, taking profits, and had a good day on Friday. But here goes, yeah, that was that. This is what it looks like on the 5, right? Pops up, lighter volume pullback, and then it pulls back to the same area that I was talking about on the 1, the previous high, which was right here. These are, to me, like easy setups to like look forward to once they happen, to see it. Make sure if you are trading this and you're trading right here, make sure you zoom out. Draw some key levels out. Keep them. Once you have them, keep them across. Don't forget about them, because if you would have saw this and this was pulling back and you weren't pretty sure of like a good entry, this is a good entry to play. Like once things finally break off new highs, once they pull back, it's 9 times out of 10. I'm not a financial advisor. It could become a good entry area. And then, of course, you're watching to see how it sets up for the rest of the day. Key levels. Okay, yeah, that was it. That was So that was the week. It was a short week, but it was like a really good week. I hit the gas on some plays. To me, guys, one thing I want to go over too is this play, but on Friday, because for everyone that's like in voice and trades with me and trades, or if you're trading on your own and you see these things, when I back tested this, right? I looked at a lot of charts that I had in my files, and if you see this, this is a fresh move, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because something I need to work on. Like sometimes, guys, I take my profits really quick, and when you do that with size, getting 50 cents to $1 at a time is amazing, right? But when I look at the overall play, you know, this is our first entry, was the first 5-minute flag, and then this thing goes to pretty much, 730s, right? And what the big picture I'm getting out of this is that I want to tell you guys is when the move is so fresh, when you look at the daily and you see it's so beaten down, this is also a new name too, that this this has so much room to run, or potentially have so much room to run. And then there's so many plays too where there's the daily was beaten down. We're entering a 5-minute flag. We're getting good entries. Since if you look left, this is what I mean when it's like, if you're looking left and there's nothing stopping this stock to, get any type of rejection, because again, we're waiting, or the bears are really waiting to short this thing once it already made a huge move. So one thing I want to work on, and one thing that you guys can work on too, is when you see a name that's so fresh, once you get in on the first 5-minute pullback, first 5-minute setup on light volume, sell half, but hold the rest of that half for the big move, right? Find a real reason to actually take profits. Now, if you got in right here at 350s, 360s, and this thing pops up and it really starts to come back down, like it flushes out, then stop out, break even on that, and then you can say, well, maybe I should have took profits up here, and that's fine too. Scale out, another 50% of that 50% move. So now you got 25%, right? Take 25% up here then, and then hold the other 25% for even the bigger move, because I've seen this so many times where I get in very early and this name has so much room to gap up on the daily, and there's nothing stopping it because it was a beaten down stock, right? But we're waiting for this because this is a stock. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for, this is a stock that had fresh news. It was this. The stock right here is beaten down, so it has so much room. And if you're playing this, guys who are new or listening, right away when you're getting to a stock like this, you're marking your levels instantly. And then this one even showed one on the 4-hour, right? I know this is BOFO right here. Gotta look at the 4-hour too, man. Right here. So this one actually went to 590s, right here. So this is another level to actually kind of crack, after hour pre-market, whatever it was. So this had room. If we're getting in right here, and we know at least this stock could potentially, since it's pre-market, we're early, could see 590, $6. It might be a good idea to hold your entry, low level entry, for a bigger move. It's something I'm gonna work on, because like LGVN, right? LGVN, like, of course, I'm still happy with $5 per share on 1,000 shares, but look at this move that it made. All right, and I'm talking about my flaws at the end of the stream too. And then I'll answer any more questions that you guys got. When I look at this, I sold this, but I don't know why. So it's something that I need to work on. 1024 right here. And I think this thing got news too, or it was on the news channel, like live news, CCN or CN. What is it, guys? Something, whatever. Botched that one. But if you look right here, there was no reason why I should have sold this from taking an entry right here off of this pre-market level. You know, I took 5 points, but then, you know, it went up to rate, you know, 42, 43 points. So really, you know, this could have been a 20K trade if I would have just held it. And even if I sold it, you know, held it, it's like, oh, it started to reject and I got out right here. You know, say I started to get out right here when it starts to flush, because once I start to see this, I'm taking profits. You know, from 22 to 39, that's 16 points. Or, yeah, you know, 16, 17 points. So, you know, again, when we get in on these flags, these 5-minute flags, if it's early, we're really early, the stock just had news, look for a reason to get out. You know, my biggest thing is I look at my P&L, which I took it off, or I'm going to take it off. It's right here. I look at my P&L and I see that I'm up X amount of dollars, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing, because, you know, who makes 5K in one trade? Or who can make, you know, so quick, right? It's just one of those things. Or even if it was like 500 bucks or 100 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever it is. Um, there's no reason why I should have just exited my trade at 28 bucks. You know, and same thing with that other flag, or same thing with BFRI when I was back testing it. You know, now these other plays that are on the backside, you know, when we see these setups and it's running into key levels, take profits, take profits. You know, if you see something that's starting to flush out, take your profits, especially if you're in really early. You know, but yeah, that's what I wanted to go over. Hopefully this helped. This was last week's plays. I didn't really play anything else. I try to just stick to this. And if you watch my other streams, all I do is play these flags. I do play momentum when it starts to, when things break out and there is no flag setup. When we're looking for half whole dollar breaks, you know, it's really quick. You have to be fast, especially in stocks that are low float stocks that can just rip from $2 to 10 bucks within a minute and a half. There is no, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There is no, you know, waiting for a setup. You have to play half whole dollar breaks. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know right now. Oh, you do? Okay. Oh, you got him in the chat. Okay. All right. My bad. I didn't even notice that you had these here. All right. Okay. Someone asked, what's the psychology behind the flag break? Shorts covering on the dips. Do you look at confluence on the daily levels or pre-market? Okay. Yeah. The psychology behind the flag breaks for me that I've seen over time and time again is that VPA setup. All right. Flags, right, is a very bullish setup. So when you see them break out, you know, shorts covering on dips, I don't really know too much on that. Like, what do you mean by that? But okay, yeah, not too, yeah. It just depends if the short's covering on certain levels. You know, on that particular one I saw, or I played, was I saw a nice pop out of it, and that was for that one. Do I look at the confluence and daily levels? Yes. Always look at levels for the daily and pre-market on the flags for each flag, because that's where I say, like, where is it setting up? Why is it setting up? Is a lot of these flags that I'll be super confident in that I will take size into are setting up on a previous pre-market high or the previous 5-minute candles high or a daily level. You know, and that's going to make the stock so much more stronger when that particular setup is starting to happen. In my opinion, that's just what I saw. Oh, ISCP, I forgot we played that one too. Okay. Do I enter on ICP? Okay, low volume. Let me see. This one was on Monday. I didn't. I don't think I traded Monday. It was pretty late. I might have traded on Monday. That one I was away. We just had the baby. Okay, let me see. 22 Monday. This flag right here? Yeah, so this is what someone's asking about this flag. Okay, this one right here, if you look, this stock had news, right? Let me see. Someone's asking me about this one. Okay, yeah. So, guys, this is this is the COVID play. All right. This is a stock too that was, if you look right here, right? This is another one that was beaten down. So for them to actually drop a press release at this time, if you look at this, this is one of those ones that you're gonna mark out key levels right away, right? So if you're playing this early, you know, you're marking your levels out like right here, right here. You know, you're kind of doing this thing right here for a while. So once it gets over $8, that's a pretty big level. You know, this is when, yes, you are adding in these levels right here. Got another level right here. And $10. That's a big one. I'm just trying to see. Okay, all right. So yes, this is what your chart's gonna look like while you're playing, right? And when you're playing this, it's fine. You know, just keep in mind that these are all daily levels. And then after it breaks them, you can either keep them or get rid of them, depending how close and tight they are. Um, this is an early move, so the volume behind this is not going to be as significant as those other ones that you see. But, you know, this is one of those flags that pretty much formed and consolidated above this level, and it's hitting a daily level, right? Um, so if you're discouraged in that, I would try to get in other things that would make sense of why I've taken the flag. Again, VWAP, I do not take in consideration a VWAP so early. Like, how can this hold so much weight and it just started, you know? Later during the day or after it's been going for a while, yes, VWAP to me holds some weight. But when the move is so fresh, you got to take these off your chart. Make believe like you don't have any lines, right? You know, just because, yeah, don't take any of these, you know, into consideration right now. Just look at the pattern, look at the volume, and then also look at the daily levels, in my opinion. You know, keep those on there, but there's just too many lines, so I took them off. I would definitely would have played this because if you look at this move right here, this popped up all the way and then it pulled back. So this is a nice 50% pullback, 60% pullback from the initial move. You know, this is still a nice 1 minute flag. Beautiful right here. All right, let me see. Yeah, yep. The levels, yep. Even though, all right, I mean, all right, so let's look at this. All right, so we got about 90, almost 100K, right, in these two candles. So this is, your pull has 100K in there. Now it's pulling back on a little bit more than that, but you got to remember you got some buyers stepping up right here. So this is not just a 64K candle of selling off. This is, you know, this candle is right here. It opened, it pulled back first. Buyer stepped up. The candle opened, it went up just a second, and then it pulled back. And in hindsight, this is your first 1 minute 8 EMA pullback for everyone who trades off the 8 and 9 EMAs. It's very similar. This is still a setup, but look at the overall pattern. And you're super early, right? If you enter this and this starts to break down, you can cut it right away, right? This is so close to the whole dollar that if this would have failed, you could have re-added off the whole dollar for the whole dollar to hold and then move up, you know? These are one of the moves, again, like get in super early and, you know, let this thing ride out for a while. I mean, this is also a low float stock. I'm pretty sure it's a low float. I don't have my trade ideas up, but you know, from right here, this went up 100%. You know, 630 on the daily. Let me see. You know, yeah, because right here, 630s is pretty much this candle right here. Yeah, so this is, yeah, yep, 630s. You know, again, we're marking all these out, so when we're in early and things drop news, we can kind of see where they want to set up and happen, right? You know, no one wants to short this, right here. Then there's some stocks that just, you know, that are going to sell off, right? And it's going to happen. So if you took this and it failed completely, it is what it is. It happened to me multiple times, right? Because these are the setups I look for. So, if it fails, it fails. But I think the success rate behind flags, where they're setting up, why they're setting up, is amazing compared to the fail rate. I have a very high success rate of nailing these things. But do I lose money in them too? Absolutely. It's not a 100%. As a trader, you're not going to win every single trade that you enter, but you know, let things breathe, let them set up at key levels, and then go from there. Do we have an example of a flag that failed? Yes. The one on hmm, where was it? It was where was the one that there was a 5-minute flag that did fail, but it failed on such light volume. Which one was that again? I forgot. Oh, okay. Yeah, GRCL. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So here goes an example of one failing, right? You could have. Here goes a 5-minute flag that failed. That it adds right here. And the reason why I think this failed too was because if you would have added this right here off VWAP in the 8 and it popped up and there was no follow through. Hold on, let me get the 1 because it just looks so much better. All right, here we go. So if you see this, right, this is where your ads would have been, in my opinion, right? Buying off the 5 and 8. Also orb, high day ads. So this is also nice. The only thing is with this one is that if you would have added right here and you would have saw this right here and there's no follow through with big volume starting to break it out, your first 5-minute candle to make a new high, it didn't even come up to that. I would have took profits right away, even if it was 5 cents. In this case, you would have been up, 30, 40 cents. But of course you want to see the bigger move. The reason why I think this failed is because look at the big move from 640s all the way up to 1180s already. This stock, if you look at the daily too, it doesn't even show us that it makes these huge moves, right? But it did over here, so it showed us once. There's a couple big green candles, but if you look, you know, right here where this happened, let me get these lines out of the way. If you look at this, and if you look, that's why it's always nice to compare the daily candles. That's why when we see things pre-market, it's running so much, and you look at the daily candles, and all the daily candles show this, so it's showing us that doesn't hold gains. But it doesn't mean you can't look back at the daily candle to get an idea of how much range does this stock produce for us, right? Because history does repeat itself. Now, we always get those days where it's so abnormal where, I mean, you see right here and this thing just goes and just like, goes like forever, like, you know, and you're like, wow, wow, that's crazy. Once in a blue moon, right? But for this stock to open up right here and make this big move, it was such a big move, right? And it broke these levels. That's nice. It broke this level, but this was that level that it really needed to get over, right? And I remember this. I was like, damn, this thing can open up. It could probably see 14, 15 bucks, but it never did. It got rejected, and then it sold off. So this is a flag that failed because to me it was so super extended in general. Right here. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so both I was saying there's probably another entry right here. Yes, this could have been another entry right here, right? This is your first pullback, which is right here, right? This candle opens, this candle closes, then it opens, it pulls back, right? It bounces pretty much off VWAP. It's making a higher low right here if you look left. And if you would have bounced, if you would have scalped this one, if you got in, say you didn't bottom ticket, say you got in 1025s, it goes up almost up to 11 bucks. That's 75 cents, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to look for a huge breakout, but you could be looking for the first real pullback that this thing actually gave. That would have been a great scalp too, right here. And this is what you're looking for. Just make sure you're always paying attention, like, when to actually take profits, because you could have sold 50, right? If you're doing the 50-50 thing, you're buying 1,000 shares right here, and you're scaling out half on the pop, and then you're holding the rest. I would have definitely gotten out right here, 100%. As soon as I saw that start to fail, I would have just took the rest of my profits. Or you can just, if you're looking to catch the whole move, take 1,000 shares and scalp. That's 750 bucks almost. 75 cents. That's an amazing trade. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so how do I know if it's failing right here? You're gonna watch time and sales, watch level 2. Once this starts to come up to these levels again, this is setting up for the whole dollar break too. If you look at this where it was, we're looking for this to break out and it doesn't. Once you start seeing the tape and you see a lot of sellers start to happen, and then you see no more buyers stepping up, like no one's buying the ask anymore when it's coming down. That's usually when, it's time to get out too, because we're just trying to ride the momentum up, as being a bull. We're just trying to ride the Momo. That's that one. I'm really, I don't know, really, let me see. I want to go back to the one because there was another 5-minute flag that failed too. Let me see. APVO. I don't think it was this one. I remember talking about it though earlier. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it was this one. Here's one that failed too. This is one that, alright, here we go. Perfect. Here goes one that, guys, like, super extended, right? So I waited for a really good entry. I got my good entry, and then it flushed on me. But it's flushed on such light volume, like, compared to this whole move up that it did, like, look at the 5. Like, here goes an entry. I had it on the 8, on the 5-minute 8. I had it on the bid, so I got filled. And when I got filled, I was up like 600 bucks instantly because it before this happened, it actually pulled back, tapped the 8, and it bounced up. And I didn't want to take profits, right? Because like that was such a great entry. This thing was super extended, and I wanted to see more of the move after that. Even if I got 50% of this bounce, it would have been a beautiful trade. So what happens is that I got filled on the bid. It pops up, and this happened so fast. It popped up, and then it just failed, and I got out before it halted, and then when it opened, it didn't really flush out anymore until, the next 5-minute candle, which was very fishy, right? Yeah, so this was another example of, I wouldn't even say this is like a huge 5-minute flag, the ones that we don't play. This is just a 5-minute entry off the 8 EMA that I took that failed, and this is what happened right here on it. Oh no, I took a loss on this. I think I lost like 800 bucks on it. Yeah. But I mean, we were very green because we played this, pre-market, on it. We played. Yeah. It's like I was up 600 bucks right away, and yeah. So both of us asked me if I was I gonna let it breathe off that entry, and yes, I was. I was gonna let it breathe, but this is what happened. you know. But that's all right. Things happen. We wait, and then we enter it on strength. Because again, on this play was very noticeable because if you see the volume start to like die down, you kind of got volume divergence right here, and then it starts to really pick up, and then it had a low volume pullback. So that was a great setup right there. Let me see. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it right there. Just reading the rest of the questions. Yeah, I think I answered the other one already. If you have a ticker. Yeah, okay. And then yeah, Deb actually asked a good question. If I hear a ticker explode in a scanner, how much time do you spend analyzing the chart versus slapping it? Okay, if things pop up on the scanner, the first thing I do is look at the daily. I look for daily levels right away, right? Once that happens, the next thing I'm looking for is half whole dollars, like where is it forming? All right, the next thing I'm looking for is any area on the chart. If this is a new one that's popping out on during the day, right? Even pre-market, whatever the case is, look for big areas of resistance. Like if I add this on high day scanner hit going off, am I going to get screwed trying to buy the first 1 minute pullback, trying to, buy the first setup that's actually there? Because, I'm not trying to chase things, right? If it was a stock that was a low float and it was brand new and it was a beaten down daily, I'm slapping it, looking for whole dollar, half dollar entries. If it's a stock that's say it was right here, right, on AVPO, right? Because once this pullbacks and this starts to break, it's gonna start going off the scanner for high day, right? Um, so that's when I'm looking for entries that can possibly set up. My kid's starting to cry. Hold on, guys. Guys are gonna hear some crying in the background. All right. Yeah. So that's when I'm looking for high day. It's really quick, or high day scanner when that goes off. It's really quick. I don't hesitate. I look for daily levels really quick. If I have to switch to hourly, I look for that right away. But I gotta go. I got some responsibilities to take care of. I'm gonna go help my kid out. All right, guys. Trying to end the stream. Love you guys. Let's catch you later.